Just look at this reading passage 2. A second attempt at domesticating the tomato. Now let's look at the type of questions. So reading passage 2 has 5 sections A to E, and which section contains the following information. Or it's something like match the heading. Now we want to answer in which paragraph from A to E contain the following information. So it's a type B question. Another thing, it's also a type B question. Look at this. Here is statement and with the correct researcher. Also a type B question. We want to match the statement correct researcher and statement. Now it is little bit easier than just match the information, just because here this list of researchers came in order in the passage, that's for sure. Now look at it's a one word only. Now usually I always prefer to do one word at first sight, but here you must understand that the one word questions came as a last part and it should be a tricky one. I would like to start from here. First, mark each researcher and what they are saying. So when you read to find out about this, you get some of the answers of this. You can also find where it lies. So you must start from second, then move to others. First, you must read and mark the keywords of question. A reference to a type of tomato. Now reference to type of tomato that can resist a dangerous infection. Resist infection, type of tomato, reference. Now an explanation of how problems can arise from focusing only on a certain type of tomato plant. Explanation how problems can arise from focusing only on a certain type of focusing only tomato plant. The number of examples of plants that are not cultivated at present but could be useful as food sources. No examples of plant not cultivated at present could be useful as a food sources. A comparison between early domestication of tomato and more recent research. A personal reaction to the flavor of tomato that had been genetically edited. Yes, you can. The domestication of certain plants could allow them to adapt to future environmental challenges. The idea of growing and eating unusual plants may not be accepted on a large scale. stowing and eating. Unusual plants may not be accepted on large scale. Unusual plant. It is not advisable for future direction of certain research to be made public. Not advisable for the future direction of certain research to be made public. For the future direction. Future. Certain research. No research. The present efforts to domesticate one wild fruit are limited by costs involved. Present efforts domesticate one wild fruit limited by the cost. Humans only make use of small proportion of the plant food available on earth. Only make use of small portion. Humans small portion of plant food available on earth. Okay. An undesirable trait such as loss of dash may be caused by mutation. A mutation in a tomato gene. By modifying one gene in a tomato plant, researchers made the tomato 3 times its original. 3 times. A type of tomato which was not badly affected by dash was rich in vitamin C. So vitamin C is China. Type of tomato which was not badly affected by was rich. Okay. Now just mark this. Jod Kudla Kesiago Kudla Kesiago Joyce Jonathan. First go through and mark this. Now when you read, you must mark some keywords like 3000 years, Brazil and China, CPCR region editing technique, linear living cell, yes. Okay, there's George Kutla. This could transform what we eat. 50,000 edible plants in the world, but 90% of your favor comes from just 15 crops. We can now mimic the non-domestication course of major crops like rice, maize, sorghum, and others, says Casio. Now, most of them are in inverted commas. Look for this. So George Kudla, 1, 2, you can mark like that. Look at this mutation. 24. So it's something, it's in 24 here. Yes, Kutla's team. There's also one. Look at this, vitamin C. So 26. So 24 here, 26 here. I'm probably this in 25, 25 and in between. Now look at this. Joe is 1. Shown that. So we get first this and just read the statements once again, so that the keywords are in your brain. So when you read this, you will easily get this. Domestication of certain plants allowed them to adapt to future environmental challenges. The idea of growing and eating unusual plants may not be accepted on a large scale. So here unusual plant, large scale. Domestication of certain plants allow them to adapt to environmental change. So adapt is the keyword here. So growing and eating unusual plant, large scale. So it's a large scale and unusual plant. That's about some plant. It is not advisable for future direction of certain researches to be made public. Future direction of certain research to be made. So it's public. Direction of certain research and public. The present effort to domesticate one wild fruits are limited by the cost. No cost. Human only make use of small proportion of plant food available on the small proportion of plant food that are available on the earth. Earth is also a keyword here. So just go through this. What Kudla want to say. So it's 19, it's B. And it is B. Now George Kudla. Look at this. Look at this. They tripled, so it must be 25 here. I'm stuck, so I get this 24, 25, 26. Just go for that rather than checking with George Kudla here. Then recap. Undesirable traits such as loss of touch. Just move to it's a flavor. Look at this. For instance, the tomato strains grown for supermarket have lost much of their flavor. 24 flavor. 25 thrice. Now, by modifying one gene in tomato plant, researchers made tomato thrice its original dash. Kutlas team made 6 changes together. For instance, they tripled the size of the fruit by editing a single gene called a fruit weight. So triple the size of the fruit size. Thrice its original size. A type of tomato which was not badly affected by dash was rich in vitamin C, was produced by a team of researchers in China. The team in China redomesticated several strains of wild tomatoes with desirable traits lost in domesticated tomatoes. In this way, they managed to create a strain resistant to a common disease called bacterial spot race, which can devastate yield. They also created another strain that is more salt tolerant and has higher levels of vitamin C. A type of tomato which was not badly affected by dash, was rich in vitamin C, was produced by team. Salt tolerant, so salt. Now this is gone. George Kutla. It's tough, isn't it? Once again, viewers, domestication of certain plants could not allow. Yes, that's we get 19. Now the growing idea of no, this may not work here. Look at this, George Kudla. Read once again, or leave it and go for Joyce Van Eck. Joyce Van Eck. Ground cherry, goldenberry. Expensive. So it's expensive. That is here regard cost. So 22. 22C. Cut 22. Cut 19. Jonathan Jones. So it's 20. It's 20 D right there. Look at this. No, but it will be hard for new product to grow so popular with farmers and consumers that they become new staple crops, he thinks. That's 20. The idea of growing and eating unusual plant may not be acceptable on a large scale. Here, not about a large scale, but it become very tough for farmers and consumers and become more a new staple crops, he thinks. It's 20. Now 21 and 23. Just read this. It is not advisable for future direction of a certain research to be made in public. Humans only make use of small proportion of the plant food available on the earth. Look at this. There are only 50. That's I just remember just because of what I read. There are 50,000 edible plants, but 90% of our energy come from just 15 crops. So it's 23A. Oh, 21. It is not advisable for future direction of certain research to be made in public. Look at this. But Kutla didn't want to reveal the species were in his team sites because CRISPR has made the process so easy. Anyone with the right skills could go to their lab and do this. So 21A. Now we just read this. Before going this, just summarize this. It's about Kudla. He's telling that there are many other things to eat, and also Kaisia Gyao, the domestication of course of major crops. That's another subject here. Here the mutation is came, and flavor is an answer. So it's tries Kudla's. Here he's increased the size. As vitamin C and no, it's about China. Research in China and Kudla's team's research. Oh, his ground cherry. Joy's research on ground cherry, and there are potential crop for the commercial crops. There is potential for this to be a commercial crop, but taking such expensive because they need to pay a license for the CPCR technology and get regularly approval. Now we get some idea about this. Just look at Jonas. Okay. So unpoor consumer, they become unstable and so it's difficult to get into a new commercial crop to replace the existing commercial crop. Now look at a reference to a type of tomato that can resist dangerous infection. Just read this. Okay, this is in this way they managed to create a strain resistant to a common disease called bacterial spot race, which can devastate the yield. So they created another strain and more salt tolerated, has higher levels of vitamin C. So 14C. An explanation of how problems can arise from focusing only on certain type of tomato plant. But every time a single plant with mutation is taken on a large population for breeding, much genetic diversity is lost. Sometimes the desirable mutation come from less desirable state. For instance, tomato strains grown for supermarket have lost their flavor. So that's a B. Number of examples of plants that are not cultivated at the present but could be useful as food sources. So number of 16E. A comparison between early domestication of tomato and more recent research. This approach really sounds revolutionary. So it's a yeah. Personal reaction to the flavor of tomato that has been genetically edited. So it's a C again. Look at this question. You may have used any letter more than once. Okay. Thank you.